And I want to begin by thinking about that word blessed. Just think in your heart for a moment. If somebody said, what does it mean to be blessed? How would you answer that question? Now, to reflect today on the scripture, I want to talk about that word blessed a little bit, particularly in how the folks in Jesus' day might have heard it. The text that we're reading from the New Testament likely came to us written in Greek, but we know that Jesus, being a Jewish rabbi, would have read the scripture in Hebrew, would have understood the concept of God's blessing in a Jewish or Hebrew context. And so when you go to the word that means blessed in the Hebrew text, it's a word that can have multiple meanings. It's kind of like a double-sided coin, perhaps. It could be heads or tails, but both sides look and sound the same. And so you have to pay attention to context to determine what it is. It's kind of like aloha in Hawaii. You can say aloha. You can say aloha. You can say, oh, aloha. It can mean a lot of things, positive and not so positive. Now think about blessing. We're not in the South, but if you've spent any time in the South and somebody has said to you, well, bless your heart, they did not mean that in the nicest of ways. But also we can say, I am so blessed. And when we say it, we often mean that something good has happened, that we're feeling lucky or really fortunate. And so as we think about the word blessed in this context, and as Jesus is talking to his disciples, I wonder what he meant when he said, blessed are those. Did he mean, well, blessed are those who are persecuted and poor in spirit? Or did he mean, blessed are those who are persecuted and poor in spirit? And what if it's not an either or, but a both and? Perhaps even more challenging than an either or a both and, what if it was your choice on what it meant in the context of your own life? See, I believe, and I would hope that we have taught you well, that God desires for you to be happy. And Jesus wants you to be happy. Blessed are you, says Jesus. And when he says, blessed are you, he's making a pronouncement. He is reminding you, or his disciples, or we, who we are and who we belong to. It's the same blessing that we use in baptism. The same blessing when a pastor comes and blesses your new home. Or when we lay our hands on top of a person and bless them, praying for their needs. It's the same blessing we pronounce over the cup and the bread in communion. Making a blessing is making a statement, a declaration of what already is. We're just making a definitive statement that this item is holy, belongs to God, and is already, even before our declaration of its blessing, consecrated for God's purposes. All things already are. All of creation is already blessed. God declared it good. And so when we, or when Jesus, pronounces a blessing, we're just reiterating the truth. We're not changing something from one thing to another, making something that was bad good, or good better, or unholy holy. We're simply stating a matter of truth. You, this item, this place, this time, these people, all of creation is blessed. What's different is not the thing that has been blessed, but perhaps what is different is how we see the thing that has been blessed, how we see the person or the item or the object of blessing. Pronouncing the blessing brings our awareness to God's already abiding presence, to the sacredness of the already ordinary and extraordinary thing before us. It's not a matter of if it is blessed or not, it's a matter of whether we see it as blessed or not. Now, I have a dear friend, her name is Bev, and Bev, for as long as I have known her, which has been, I think, around 15 years now, has never been lucky. She's always on the verge or in the midst of experiencing homelessness. She's constantly in a custody battle over what is best for her son. She's always struggling financially, and she's always declaring her blessing. If you ask her how she is, the first statement out of her mouth is, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. God is getting me through. I'm blessed, but maybe not in the ways that people expect me to say. I'll start with one of my very first blessings, 2008. Some of you know, some of you may not know, but both of my parents passed separately, 60 days apart from each other. And it was a terrible time in my life. I inherited a third of their estate, shared with my older brother and sister. I inherited a third of their retirement that they never got to spend. And sometimes when I'm in ministry and I work with families who have aging parents that they're struggling to care for, I think to myself, or even say, you know, I'm blessed that I don't ever have to watch my parents age. The flip side of that blessing is I lost them early. I'm blessed that I have a really big financial head start on retirement than most of my peers. The flip side of that blessing is I got it because my parents didn't live to enjoy and spend it themselves. I'm blessed with an incredible 4-year-old who I adore. Everybody adores, actually, I'll say. He's kind of, parents, we know we're biased, right? But he's pretty awesome. But what people don't know is I'm also blessed, or was blessed, with, $40,000 or $50,000 in medical expenses to get pregnant. And so I was blessed with this beautiful child who I longed for and prayed for, and blessed with the burden of that expense. And one thing that many won't know is that my marriage of 10 years was in trouble. My husband and I were in the process of separating, and he passed suddenly and unexpectedly in the midst of that. I'm blessed that I don't have to go through a pretty rough and terrible separation and divorce. But I'm blessed to be a widow instead. I'm blessed that I don't ever have to send my son away for a weekend or time at dad's and miss him desperately. I'm blessed to have him all to myself, but I'm blessed to have the burden of being a 24/7 single only parent and to walk as a family through grief. I can look at the things that my life has been blessed with and say, oh, God has blessed me. Let me tell you about them blessings. Or I can say to you, God has blessed me because God has abided with me and always worked all things together for my good, despite the tragedies that I have experienced. You're blessed, says Jesus, with the choice of happiness, because you are mine because you were created in the image of God, because you can see that even in the midst of hard things, God is with you and for you. See, because we belong to God, we have the ability to choose a certain way of life, a way of deciding whether we've been blessed or we've been blessed. You have the choice not to accept a victim mentality, but to count your blessings for good. You have the choice to remember that all you have is God's and a gift from God's. You have a choice as God's child to accept God's blessing and to bless others. You can take the initiative now to choose beforehand how you will respond to any situation that God will bring your way. A famous and popular preacher and pastor, his name's Fred Craddock, he says these words: "We are no longer victim people. We are kingdom people. We are God's people." And so as I close, I just want to offer you a couple of different versions of this very familiar piece of text. The first one comes from a resource online called Ministry Matters. It's not a version in Scripture, it's somebody's interpretation, and it reads as this: "Blessed is the one who acknowledges their personal need for God shall reign in their heart. Be happy when you feel deep sorrow over the wrongs of the world, for God's Spirit will be at your side. You will know joy as the relinquishment of your life to God's guidance and discipline, as it molds you to receive what God has already promised for you. Blessed are you when the dissatisfaction in your life drives you to search after God's nature, for you will be satisfied. Oh, the blissful joy of the one who gives forgiveness and healing love, for you will receive what has been given. The joyful heart is yours because your singleness of purpose conditions you to see God in all things and all places. God's children are those who stand in the gap between forces of opposition, making peace to be more than the absence of hostility, but the presence of love." The other one I want to share with you is from a United Methodist pastor. He's retired. He lives up north, Vermont, Maine, somewhere like New Hampshire. I don't remember. His name is Steve Garnis Holmes. He writes a poem every day and emails it out. And he wrote this version of the Beatitudes, and it resonated with me, and he calls it Beatitudes for when church is hard. He says, "God says to us, I give my love to you who aren't sure what you believe, because I believe in you. I give you my love when religion and church breaks your heart, for I, not religion or church, will be your comfort. I give my love to you who are timid in the face of a domineering world, for you belong cradled in my arms. I give my love to you who are hungry for more than what this world offers, for I will feed your soul. I give my love to you who seek to be loving, not right, for all I have ever wanted is for you to be loving. I give my love to you who don't pretend to just fit in. You see clearly, don't you? I give my love to you who work for peace. Yes, that is my child. I give my love to you when people judge you and kick you out, but that's pretty much what it looks like sometimes to follow Jesus." I want to invite us as we sing to think about our blessings. Are there things in your life that perhaps you did not think of as good? Perhaps you thought it was a punishment or a curse. Maybe you can look at it with new eyes as a blessing. Being blessed is a discipline in gratitude. It's a discipline in looking for and having the attitude to find and see God amongst all times and all places. Let us sing about the ways that we have been blessed, how we choose to find joy in all that God brings us.